If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key, and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Kulturecast. I am your host, Chris Stachiw. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Michael Swan.
What is up?
And we are joined again by staff writer for the site, John Lein.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
So this is the final week of the Disaster Movie Marathon. I jumped the gun a little bit last week by, getting a little too excited that it was almost over. So this week is the actual end of the Disaster Movie Month. Boy, it's been a long month.
It's been extraordinarily long.
Yeah. Yep. This week are the last two movies on our list are Seeking a Friend for the End of the World and It's a Disaster. Neither of which are really disaster movies. Not in the typical sense, I guess.
Right.
So, let's get right into it. So, let's talk about Seeking a Friend for the End of the World first. Swan, what did you think of this movie?
Pretty lame. I don't actually know of many Steve Carell films that I'm actually excited about or speak positively of. And Seeking a Friend for the End of the World is not an exception. It was extraordinarily bland and mediocre to me.
Yeah. What about you, John?
I think overall I liked it, and with Swan, I also don't really super love Steve Carell, but
known to his friends as Stephen Carell.
Yeah, you have to be close to him to call him Stephen. But I liked the movie overall, and there's a lot of great supporting actors that do really awesome bit characters. Rob Corddry's in it, Patton Oswalt's in it, and overall I think it's really good, but the ending really pissed me off, and it's not bad, it's just not what I was hoping for.
I enjoyed this movie, but I can see where you guys are coming from. I think it is kind of on the boring side. A lot of the movie drags a little bit in the center. By a little bit, I mean it actually drags a lot. But the movie is about Steve Carell and Keira Knightley, who live in the same building together. And the end of the world is happening. It's more or less what would happen if in Armageddon or Deep Impact they failed.
Right, because the opening is Steve Carell listening to a radio announcement about how the Destiny mission...
Deliverance.
Blew up. Yeah, the Deliverance mission blew up.
It's not stopping the asteroid.
Right.
And as soon as the radio station cuts off, Steve Carell's wife just leaves. Just runs out of the car. And that's kind of the whole premise of the movie, is how are people reacting to the end of the world? Being given a timeline to the end of the world. Because it says, like, there's 3 weeks left. Okay. So I'm with you guys on the Steve Carell kind of feelings. I think he's kind of overrated as a comedian. I think he's a better bit player than a lead man in comedies.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If that makes sense.
I completely agree. And actually, thinking back on Carell films, I mean, 40-Year-Old Virgin was funny, but not strictly because of Steve Carell.
40-Year-Old Virgin was funnier because of the people that he surrounded himself with in the
movie. Absolutely. Like, Seth Rogen was way more funny in that movie than Steve Carell was.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. Oh my God. But if you on the flip side though, some of his, like, I guess quasi-dramatic stuff, Little Miss Sunshine, I liked. I actually really enjoyed, and I liked Steve Carell in it. And that was kind of a mix of drama with, like, hints of his quirkiness that we got from his time on The Daily Show, where he wasn't like the, I guess, completely inept character that he was in Anchorman, because that character is absolutely dumb. I hate that character so much.
Brick Tamland.
Brick Tamland. But so on The Daily Show, he was, I mean, as far as I remember, it's actually been a while since I've actually watched Daily Show, and thinking back to Steve Carell's time on there, his character of Brick Tamland was not really all that akin to his character on The Daily Show. It seemed that he and Ed Helms really had, like, the, I guess, an egotistical, comedic take on journalism, and that quirkiness that came with that is what I remember from his time doing Little Miss Sunshine. And it was a movie I really enjoyed. But this was just bland Steve Carell. Like, I would probably rather watch Foxcatcher.
Well, I mean, I felt like it was supposed to be bland. I mean, it was...
Yeah, his character doesn't have much of a character.
Well,
right,
I understand that.
And that's, like, his whole thing is he spent his entire life being undefined in order to be safe. And then now it's the end of the world, and what does an undefined, bland blob of a human being do when they find out, hey, nothing that you've done mattered, all the safety nets that you've created for yourself, it doesn't matter because you can't build a safety net big enough to catch an asteroid.
Well, I get that.
Breaking it down, John.
Damn.
Well,
I get that, and I agree with that, and I think that it would make a compelling story. I just don't think they tell that story in this movie very well.
I liked Steve Carell in this movie, actually. I mean, I feel like he did a really good job of sort of displaying that sort of existential crisis of what are our efforts and drives in our life are, what they mean, you know? And I feel like his bland character was a good straight man to everyone else in the movie being just a whack job. I mean, there's a part where he's at a dinner with Rob Corddry and Rob Corddry's family, and, like, Rob Corddry's son walks in and the wife says, "How was your day at school?" And the kid goes, "Stop ruining my life." And then Rob Corddry goes, "Fuck you." And I was like, that's awesome. And it's good to see Carell's character sort of...
Hello, my name is Kevin Tudor, and I'm one of the 3 hosts of Almost Major, a film podcast dissecting many major indie studios and the films they release. Every week, myself, Charlie Nash, and Bryden Doyle discuss overlooked, forgotten, or bona fide classic indie films via studio-specific miniseries. We've previously covered numerous films from Artisan Entertainment, Lionsgate Films, and New Line Cinema. Titles including The Blair Witch Project, American Psycho, Dogville, But I'm a Cheerleader, Saw, Requiem for a Dream, and Ringmaster, you know, the Jerry Springer film. Anyways, we have a fun time every week, and we hope you will join us. Subscribe to Almost Major wherever you get your podcasts. Now proudly a part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Do you love movies? So do I. What's up, y'all? It's KB, and I love movies. Inviting you to listen to The Conversation, a film podcast where passion meets perspective and opinion. From the old school to the new, I invite a guest on to discuss the movies that thrill us, challenge us, break our hearts, or even blow our minds. There's always new episodes dropping wherever you get your podcasts. So join the conversation. We don't just watch movies. We love talking about them too. The Conversation with KB Loves Movies, a part of Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Weathering all that stuff and still trying to be sort of polite and a good guest and a good person, but not having any sort of real definition. And I enjoyed the juxtaposition of his character against everyone else in the movie. I thought that was good.
I mean, I get that and can see the appeal of it and whatnot. To me, it felt like Carell, to quote RDJ from Tropic Thunder, it just seems that Carell probably took it too far, where for me it just didn't communicate the idea. I mean, I got it, I understood what was going on, but it just didn't help move this. I mean, because to me it drugged the story down. The film lagged because there was so much blandness coming from Steve Carell, and as he tried to progress and weather those storms that his character was facing and maintain that safety net, that just seemed too much, and it lagged the movie down for me as all.
I mean, I got the feeling that it was dragging because it was supposed to be a mildly humorous but overall depressing film.
I agree. I don't know. I'm not sure why they tried to make it humorous when they could have just played it for drama.
No, because then it wouldn't have been interesting at all. It just would have been normal. I guess we're watching an existential take on the meaning of life.
Yeah, but I mean, that doesn't mean it would be boring. You know what I mean? I mean, we really haven't seen a movie like that yet.
Yeah, but I don't think that I personally would have enjoyed it. I liked the depressing overarching tone of the movie with the snippets of humor thrown in.
I mean, the stuff that they played for humor wasn't that funny.
I think that was the point, though, because you don't. I mean, like the complete juxtaposition of like depressing content and then like gut busting laughter would, to me, that would absolutely ruin the film, I think. And now I'm getting really upset because before we started, we actually said, you know what, there's probably not a lot to talk about, and now we're actually like talking about stuff. It's actually really aggravating.
Said there wasn't much to talk about.
Well, you didn't say that. You left your silence of your omitted silence was you agreeing without saying anything.
I mean, you know, the fact of the matter is that this movie is, I don't think that they cast Steve Carell as the right role, and I think that hurt the movie overall, because Steve Carell does have some depth as a dramatic actor, but when he's called upon to be a dramatic actor, the script really has to play to his dramatic strengths, and I'm not sure that this one played to his dramatic strengths. Yeah,
if I were to pick someone, I would actually probably pick like John Cusack or Paul Rudd, actually, to do the role that Steve Carell did. The role itself could actually really be similar and would work with someone like what was Paul Rudd's character in movie was that? What's the movie where he was like the asshole and he was like mentoring the kid?
Oh God, the one with
Role Models.
Role Models. Yes,
the one with Kiss My Anthea.
Yes. Now the actual character Paul Rudd plays in Role Models is not a bland, depressing safety net character, although I would be willing to argue the style of acting in the modality that Paul Rudd facilitated the character would work if you applied a depressing, bland feel to it, and Paul Rudd's knack for like just small bit comedy for like just side jokes and things that spruce up a scene and make things not depressingly awkward would actually make Seeking a Friend for the End of the World a bit more interesting for me, I think.
I don't know. I think I like Steve Carell.
Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, I'm
okay.
I'm not the. Yeah, I didn't like Steve Carell in this movie as much as I really should have. So.
And again, too, like, I mean, we're talking about something that's honestly down to like personal taste. To be completely honest, because I'm not going to say Steve Carell did a horrible job. I mean, I think as someone who, like, similarly akin to Robin Williams, who's made a career off of basically just being funny, going out and doing dramatic things is a huge step for your career, especially if it's not something you're comfortable doing. And he's had flashes of brilliance playing more dramatic roles. It's just this one particularly just didn't really speak to me as all.
And I would have rather seen John Cusack in this movie because
Absolutely.
I think John Cusack has more dramatic depth than Steve Carell.
I mean, you could actually probably just take John Cusack from High Fidelity and put that character in this movie.
I would have liked it more. but that's not to say I didn't like this movie. I actually did like this movie to some extent. And I know that you have a problem with the ending, John.
Yeah, I have a huge problem with the ending.
Oh boy.
But I actually liked the ending.
It made sense. The ending, I mean...
Yeah, it was a little bit of a cop-out, I will agree.
No, it was a huge cop-out, but at the same time, it puts like a nice, tiny little bow on it, and that's what people want at the end of a god-awful, depressing flick. Because the content of this movie, I mean, the movie's not bad. It's not bad. It's not definitely not horrible. But the depressing content, you're just being like subjected to sadness for an hour.
Okay, look. While I was watching this movie...
Let the anger flow through you, John.
I'm about to. The body of the movie, I got the feeling that it was supposed to be a mildly humorous tragedy. And it was supposed to be like Shakespearean, star-crossed lovers thing. And it was playing it up the whole time. I mean, there was funny stuff, but it was also really depressing film, really slow, and the characters do grow and become more content with their meeting the end of their life. But then Steve Carell puts Keira Knightley on a plane with Martin Sheen to fucking fly to England.
Martin Sheen, his dad.
Right, Martin Sheen, his dad, who wears pajama pants and a leather jacket.
You know what? He doesn't need a fucking reason. He's in hostile waters.
But he puts her on that plane. They fly away. He drives back to his shithole apartment. Well, not shithole. I don't know.
Well, that was a fucking nice-ass apartment, bro.
Right, I was just being dickish. He drives back to his apartment, and he goes into her apartment and lays down on the floor and listens to records. And I wanted it to end there. I wanted the asteroids to hit, and I wanted him to die, willingly dying alone, in order for her, the woman that he came to love, to be happy and spend the last of her hours and minutes with her family. I thought that would have been an amazing, tragic, but meaningful sacrifice. And then, of course, he gets up because the power goes out, and she's there in the apartment. Because she woke up and made his dad turn the plane around so that she could come be with him. Because romantic comedy couples bullshit that every movie does. And this movie did not feel like every other movie to me. It felt different, and it felt almost poetic, I thought. And then they ended it with that easy go-to crap, and it really pissed me off.
Whoa.
I probably would have liked the film a lot more if Steve Carell had died alone.
And it would have made the ending meaningful as opposed to the same old romantic dreck that we get in fucking, I don't know, every romantic comedy that's ever been made.
I would have liked to have seen the movie end with him standing watching the plane fly off.
That would probably be an equally good ending.
That could have been good too.
That would have been better in my mind than even the one you guys are talking about. Only because, then there's it's very abrupt, and there you go. Then you don't even get to see like the, it's a week less time or whatever. So,
yeah, there's the problem with all that is selling, because you're basically ending on a depressing note, and even then the ending they currently have is depressing because the world ends anyway. But you're basically subjecting viewers to like an hour's worth of just pure depressing content, and have Steve Carell character die alone. While as it would definitely make a better movie and tell a better story, you're not going to make money on that movie. If this was,
they didn't make money on this one.
Well, I understand that, but I mean,
this is an indie film. I mean, this is not a big budget film.
Oh, okay,
$10 million budget.
That's a pretty small budget.
Yeah,
but that's much larger than most indie films.
Yeah, but I mean, I think a lot of that budget went to fucking Steve Carell and Keira Knightley, who we haven't even talked about yet.
It definitely did. But at the same time, if you're going to get Steve Carell and Keira Knightley to be in a film, I don't think you can really call that indie film. Really, I don't really think you could.
Most indie film.
Most indie films that I've watched and things that you see at most film festivals usually have a budget under maybe $2 million.
I mean, it's still an independent film in my mind.
Okay, is there? I haven't looked yet. Is there a studio associated with the film?
It's got a bunch of names. I don't see a studio specifically.
Who was it distributed by anyone?
Not sure. I mean, I hadn't even thought about it.
Because that's usually a huge factor in like if you consider something to be truly indie. If it's just like five guys that got together and put it together, then yes. So,
it was focused features.
Okay, so I mean, okay,
it's an independent film.
Yeah,
it's not Fox or Universal.
No, I'm with you. Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I'd also like to point out for those of you that don't know, at the beginning of the movie, the woman who runs off, that's Steve Carell's wife in real life.
Right.
Oh, that's awesome. That's fun.
Yeah. But we haven't even talked about Keira Knightley yet.
Who I thought was actually really great.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed her performance, and I'm not a huge fan of Keira Knightley.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Probably because I've only seen her in Pirates of the Caribbean. Right? And, I mean, she wasn't the best in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So, I actually enjoyed her performance in this movie. I think she played, I don't know about you guys, but she played a character that I've met people like that. I've met girls like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I could kind of, see that character and, kind of understand where that character is coming from. And she's a good balance to Steve Carell's kind of uptight, up his own kind of, I guess he's not up his own ass.
Apathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's honestly not even all that uptight either. He just
doesn't give a shit.
Well, right. It's not that he doesn't give a shit, because he seriously does. He cares about a lot of stuff. He's just very reserved and has a very small personal bubble that he really deflects outside influences. Because like the scene where he's at Rob Corddry's house and they're having that dinner party type thing, and he gets introduced to that girl, and then Patton's doing that thing. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll do heroin," and he's just at that point, Steve Carell just drinks
bucket list.
Yeah, I love that bucket list.
Oswald.
Oh man, yeah. That was fantastic.
Roach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
right.
At that point, Steve Carell, like the most outlandish thing his character ever really does is he has a thing about drinking codeine. So he takes a sip of codeine and goes and chills in the bathroom by himself. So it's not that he's uptight. It's not that he doesn't disapprove of, I guess, obscene or illicit behavior, but he's not going to be a part of it, is what it is. It's not what he wants to be a part of. So yeah. I don't really count that as up his own ass or uptight. He's just very reserved.
Yeah.
But Keira Knightley is the polar opposite of that.
and she, like I said, she's really good in this film, which is, I was surprised because, like I said, I'm not a huge Keira Knightley fan, so.
I was kind of surprised that John didn't mention, what is his name? We've talked about him before.
TJ Miller?
Yes. TJ Miller, Frenzies.
And Jillian Jacobs.
Yes.
Yeah, from Community.
Just like high as fuck on X. I don't know if you get high on X.
Rolling on X.
Yeah, she is. Right. She's straight rolling.
Man, that scene. That's a funny as shit scene.
Everything is awesome. How are your mudslides? Fucking awesome.
So it's essentially like a TGIF, like TGI Fridays, but it's the end of the world, so they're like all on drugs, smoking weed. TJ Miller's
conga lines.
TJ Miller's character is just like, I don't even know what's going on.
it's TJ Miller being basically every character TJ Miller ever plays.
Yeah.
Because that the airy, quasi flamboyant, not airhead, but just spacey character is essentially what he does in every movie or every TV show I've ever seen him in.
Except for Silicon Valley.
Okay, I haven't seen Silicon Valley, but
in Silicon Valley he's just like a big dickhead.
In Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, the time I've seen him in, because I mentioned before that I remember him from The League, and then we watched. Well, I forget what movie it was a couple weeks ago that he was in that John had mentioned. But
he's in Cloverfield.
Oh yeah,
he was in Unstoppable.
Yeah, he was in Unstoppable. Yeah, he's always just seemed to have that airy, spacey character type, and it's something he's made money doing, so you can keep doing it, dude. But again, Keira Knightley, fantastic. Polar opposite.
I think she was good. I didn't really see anything new about her character, as far as other sort of, not ditzy, but quirky females in romantic comedies, because, she's played that character pretty often.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't see anything new, but, she's not bad in it, so I didn't have a problem with her.
She definitely had Because it's
chemistry
not...
with Steve Carell.
Oh no, she
did.
absolutely did,
and their characters worked well together.
Well, yeah, and I think that can definitely be contributed to what's his name or what's her name, Lorene Scafaria.
Yeah,
because she actually wrote and directed this, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think there's just a lot of good work, and we don't know this, but there might have been like some excellent collaboration between the three of them. I haven't read any of the trivia, and I don't know much about this. Most indie projects start as like an artsy idea by like a writer director. It's like, man, this would probably make a good movie, and they talk to an actor or actress or a couple producers that might be interested in making a project like that, and it's more for self-satisfaction for them. It's more of a cathartic thing, if anything, and this could possibly be something like that. And but all in all, it turned into, it's a good story concept. It just didn't deliver the story for me how I thought it should have been. I personally think that there could have been some things done a little bit differently that would have made the film a little bit more appealing. But that's not to discount Steve Carell's job. I think he took the blandness a little too far. Keira Knightley was excellent, and I thought the idea of the movie is great. It's just the movie didn't do much for me personally, and that's just me kind of a thing. I'm fairly certain I know a lot of people that would really, really enjoy this film, and John enjoyed the film except for the ending.
I mean, I enjoyed this film
you did,
a lot.
Chris, and you did too, Chris. It's not. I definitely didn't hate it. It's not like I was just like, oh my god, I want to just poke my eyes out and not watch this movie. It's not like any of the other movies we've watched this month.
This is one of the better movies we've watched this month.
Well, I mean, this movie is probably better than half the crap Hollywood makes anyway, disaster movie or otherwise.
And I know that you guys don't like the ending, but I actually really like that ending dialogue between the two of them.
I do too. I didn't say that I actually didn't like the ending.
No, I know, but I mean, if we had it our way, that wouldn't have even existed.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I think for John absolutely hates it and would prefer it to stop later. I think story-wise, it would make the story pop more if it ended where we're in the area that we've suggested, either at the plane when the plane leaves, or if it's him by himself. That'd probably make the story pop more. But yeah.
No, I really enjoyed that ending dialogue. That was it got a little dusty in here. Let's put it that way. A little dusty. That's pretty, like, I don't know. That's pretty well written dialogue between two characters that are facing the end of the world.
I would agree, because the
and it wasn't like too syrupy. That was my thing.
Right. So. I'm gonna say that for that style of ending, the ending is still good. And I still enjoyed the ending after I stopped being pissed at it. I just was really hoping that this movie was going to end in a way that sort of elevated it from a interesting new take on disasters and just filmmaking in general I was hoping the ending was going to take that interesting concept and elevate it to something that I was going to really, really like and suggest to people all the time. But then it ended sort of with a cop-out generic cliche thing, and so it took away from it. But I still enjoy the ending. I still think it's a good movie that people should watch.
I mean, to be fair, if it were a generic ending, Steve Carell would have gone up in the space shuttle and sacrificed himself to save the world.
That or, like, they would have found a way to put him, Martin Sheen, and Keira Knightley in the plane. Like, they
still all would have died.
Well, I mean, yeah, but if you want a generic ending that would have been quasi-happy but ruined the content of the film.
I actually think the best possible ending for this movie, I don't know how you guys feel about this, before we wrap up talking about this movie, is if the asteroid actually misses Earth at the end.
I kept thinking
and then everybody has to deal with their shit that they've done.
I kept thinking about that because John watched this movie way ahead of Chris and I, and
he watched it. Yeah, John watched them last night.
Yeah, John. Well, yeah, we watched it this morning. So I was away playing a concert, but my phone kept pinging. I mean, I'm not making sound because I'm in a gig, but every once in a while I'd be able to take a peek at my phone, and it'd be like, John, I fucking hate this ending. Like, just a bunch of anger and hate about the end of the film. I'm like, all right, well, it's about an asteroid. Maybe it misses. I kept thinking that, and I kept prepping for it.
I would have enjoyed that.
I think that would have taken it from like a depressing, like the depressing comedy / tragedy into like the best turn. I mean, it would ruin the movie the movie would be ruined at the end for anyone else who had never seen it. If you didn't see it in theaters, it'd be ruined because everyone would tell you what would happen. Because it's something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at that point, you might as well just not go waste your $10 to go see it. Because if you know that turn is coming, that's what would make the movie great, is if no one knew that turn was coming. But I kept thinking that was a possibility. I kept waiting for it. I kept waiting for, like, because who's the guy that played the news anchor?
I have no idea.
His face was so familiar. I've seen him in other things playing, like, sarcastic news anchors.
Mark Moses is his name.
Okay. I want to say he was in what was that? I want to say he was in, like, in the Onion movie or something like that was just a sarcastic take on news. But I kept waiting for him to be like, "Oh, the asteroid missed. We're not."
I mean, that would have been an extremely interesting idea, because that would have changed the whole complexion of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it was. I mean, the ending that they gave the film, I think, is actually.
Oh, now I remember where I've seen that guy from. He was in Mad Men.
He's also in Deep Impact. So
was he really?
Yeah.
Instantly worst actor ever. He signed on to do Deep Impact.
So closing thoughts and best performance. Swan, why don't you lead us off?
Oh man, all right. I mean, definitely a well-made film. A very interesting story. It can drag. It can seem. I mean, I thought it was exceedingly bland. But there's a lot of good in this movie. But I don't know. I will say watch it, don't watch it. I'm just gonna stick firmly in the middle ground. You may or may not waste your time. This movie seems to depend more on your own personal taste than relying on word of mouth from other people that have seen it. But best performance, I want to go Keira Knightley, but I'm going to go Patton Oswalt. Well, I'm going to go with my boy.
What about you, John?
As much as the ending bothered me, all in all, this film is really good. I don't even think that it dragged, really. I mean, I feel like the pacing helped to maintain the tone of the film, and I think that while I was watching it, it reminded me of, like, maybe a slightly depressing version of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Or Big Fish, with sort of the main body of the film being the interactions that the main characters have with other people in the world. And I really enjoyed those types of films. So even with the ending bothering me, I think that it's definitely still a movie that people should watch. It's still really good. I still really liked it. I just was disappointed is probably the best word for the ending. Best performance, I'm going to go with Rob Corddry. I mean, he doesn't do anything different from what he always is, but I've also never seen him and not thought it was funny. The way that he's sort of, his character is still spending time with his family, but he's like said fuck it to all of the familial responsibilities. So he lights a Roman candle on the ground and he gets really close to it and he's like, it can't hurt you until you get like this close, and he like puts his head over the candle. And I thought he was really funny and pretty good. Probably my favorite part of the film.
I agree with you guys. I think this is a really well-made film. I think that it's better than pretty much everything we've watched, this month. I mean, that's not terribly hard, but and I mean, I'm going to go with best performance in the movie, Keira Knightley, because I think she brought the most to the movie, and I think that she did a really good job. Like I said, I was going into this movie was not a huge fan of her, and I thought that this was a really, really good performance from her. So the other movie we watched was It's a Disaster. It's about a Sunday couples brunch gone awry, more or less. So, Swan, what did you think of this movie?
You know what? I watched the movie second, and it was better, and I thought there were parts of it that were really funny, but akin to Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, it just didn't really do much for me, and so it just stayed kind of. It wasn't boring, but it wasn't. The film was filled with comedians. Is this supposed to be a funny film?
I thought it was really funny.
To me, I saw. It was humorous, but to me, it wasn't exceedingly laugh out loud funny.
Huh.
Most of the time, if there was like a funny bit or something like that, or like a really good joke, I maybe chuckled, or chortled or whatever. But it wasn't This wasn't laugh out loud funny for me, which is not an indictment on the film. This has just been a really weird weekend for me, I guess, with films just not they're just not doing it for me for whatever reason.
What about you, John?
I really liked this movie. I mean, it doesn't have... Seeking a Friend had a more sort of meaning to it, whereas It's a Disaster is, to me, felt like more of a straightforward comedy. And I don't really know what Swan's talking about, because my notes are, like, half of my notes are lines that I cracked up at and had to pause the movie to write them down. I mean, the Jeff Grace plays Shane, and he's like a comic book nerd, and the world is going to shit because of a dirty bomb, and he's worried about getting outside fast so that he can form motorcycle gangs and get shotguns, because if they wait too long, all they'll get is canned food and mopeds. And just his whole character is great, and David Cross plays an awesome straight man up until the very end when you see what his actual thought process is as a character.
That was probably...
At which point he's a nut job.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, that was great. Julia Stiles is really good in it. I mean, I don't know if there was anyone in the movie that I didn't like. And I think the only problem I have with it is that it has that cliche... Both people in a relationship cheated on each other. One finds out about it and can't get over the fact, even though they know that they also did the same thing. And that bugged me a little bit, but I think overall the movie was really good and really funny, and I laughed a lot at it. And I don't think there was any problem with the pacing or the humor.
Oh, well, I had seen this movie before we watched it. I had already seen it, I want to say sometime last year. So I was familiar with the movie, going into it. I don't remember what I thought about it the first time I saw it. I didn't really like this movie a whole lot, for the same reason I feel like Swan's kind of on the fence about it, because I didn't think it was very funny. And I don't know, it was trying to be funny, and I'm with you, Swan. I'm pretty sure this movie is trying to be funny, but like everything that it does just kind of falls flat.
Yeah, that's...
In my mind, at least. In my opinion, it falls flat.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really funny people in this movie, and there's a lot of funny situations. But I think because we're dealing with the dirty bomb scenario, and because this is actually probably, so far, out of all the movies we've done so far, this is probably the best representation of what... I mean, because Chris has used the comparison of a bottle episode for TV. The entire movie takes place basically inside this house.
Yeah.
And so you have a real confined space to work with. We only see maybe 3 rooms: the living room, kitchen, a bedroom, and then the garage. So what is that, 4 rooms total?
Yeah.
There's really not a lot of space to work with. And so there's a lot of restrictions on content because there's not much you can do. For me, the funniest part probably was before David Cross's turn, before he goes from 4th grade history teacher to Bible history teacher,
who's trying to suicide pact everybody in the house.
Yeah, before that happens, when the late arrivals appear.
Oh.
That was probably the funniest part of the movie for me.
Well, maybe you should learn to show up on time.
Yeah, that was probably the funniest part of the movie for me.
Agreed.
But at the same time, that wasn't like laugh out loud funny. It was just like, sucks to be them. It wasn't hysterical. It wasn't, I've said exceedingly funny a bunch. It just wasn't. It was amusing is probably the best way to put it.
Yeah.
The movie as a whole was just amusing. It wasn't like super funny.
I thought it was sort of dry humor, and I really like that style of humor. So I thought this movie was hilarious.
I mean, I enjoy black humor and black comedy. I don't know, just something about this movie. I feel like it never went black or dark enough to really be considered black comedy.
Yeah, it was kind of non-committal on that front.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Into the Storm of black comedies. It didn't really commit to the concept as much as it should have.
They would like touch subjects, but then that's where the joke would stop.
Yeah,
and it just wouldn't. They essentially weren't getting in the pool. Like they would dip their toes in, and then decided
It's too bad, because if they had fully committed to it, it may have been a better film.
Oh, absolutely. And like, because David Cross is probably one of my favorite comedians. He's for me, he's right up there with Patton Oswalt, Louis C.K. He's right up, I mean,
no, those three are all kind of the same, though.
Well, exactly. I mean, because that's the comedy that's the comedy I've grown up on, and the comedy I enjoy.
I thought you liked Gabriel Iglesias or Enrique, whatever that fat comedian is. That guy's funny, right?
Oh my God. I hate you so much. So, this movie had a lot of potential. It had a really funny cast, a lot of really good personalities in this movie. It just didn't produce. The movie didn't execute, I guess is the best way to put it.
Agreed.
Not agreed.
That's fine. You're entitled to
That's
your opinion.
fine. It's an opinion.
I mean, there's parts in the movie, I think the dialogue is really good. Even the parts that I didn't laugh out loud at, there are points where I chuckled just from things people say. Like, David Cross walks in and asks, I don't know who, one of the other characters where his car keys are. And they have a whole interaction where they finally get the car keys and David Cross walks out and the comic book nerd comes in and he's like, hey, what do we know about him? He's a teacher? Yeah, but can he be trusted? With my car keys? And the guy is talking about, like,
that's not
the
funny.
End of the world.
Like, yeah,
I thought that was humorous.
That's not that funny.
That's not that funny.
No, that wasn't one of the things that made me laugh out loud. It was just, I chuckled at that. And that's what I'm saying, is even when I wasn't laughing out loud, I was still,
The fact that you're doing the ha 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 chuckling thing inherently states that you thought that part was funny.
Yeah, but not, God. What I'm saying is that I thought that the movie as a whole was funny, which I've already said, but that it wasn't funny because of a few things. It was funny because the whole movie was well thought out dialogue, I thought. And I think you guys are wrong in your opinions. But that's opinion.
Yes, John. That is what opinion means.
Yes,
I know.
have some.
Yes, have some.
I just think you're wrong.
I mean, and that's fine. I like I said, I just think that this movie, just if it's towing the line between comedy and drama, which black comedies often do, I think that it's too the tone of the movie is not clear enough one way or the other to really be successful. I didn't find myself laughing at all in this movie. I found myself just like like that. Like, you know what I mean? Kind of like, okay. Like, wow, that's kind of clever, I guess. You know what I mean? But I never really laughed out loud. And I think, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, I feel like they underused David Cross. I feel like if they had cast him as someone else and had someone play that character, it would have been better.
I don't know.
I
get the payoff at the end, and that's fine. But I enjoyed David Cross so much that I would have liked to have seen him have more of an active part in the movie as opposed to just kind of standing around in scenes.
But I don't know what other character I would have liked him as. Maybe the comic book nerd, but I think that Jeff Grace did a good job as the comic book nerd.
I found that character to be extremely grating.
Really? He's probably the one I connected with most.
He was so obnoxious.
Well, yeah, and he was dumb, but he was a good character.
See, I can't
Have we talked about what this movie is yet?
Yeah, it's a couple's brunch.
Where they get dirty bombed and then trapped in.
Yes.
In Austin.
Are they in Austin?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought that it was set up they were in Austin. That's what I was getting.
I thought they were in...
Because they talk about the UT game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do talk about...
And they talk about LA and San Francisco, so they're not in LA or San Francisco.
Yeah.
Holy shit. There's a part, they throw up the horns, right? And David Cross goes, oh, those are the devil's horns. And everybody laughs. And I just now realized
Me too.
Foreshadowing to him being a religious nut.
See, that okay, it's because of things like, I can't agree with you, Chris, on casting David Cross as someone else and replacing David Cross's character with someone else. Because there's no one I would think of more as the perfect person to do that. Because on top of that, you got to be able to put someone in there that can handle because I mean, as someone, I don't think I'm funny at all, but I can see how it's stressful for someone who makes a living off of being funny, or someone who's inherently very funny, or someone who does nothing but makes jokes all the time out of habit. Playing a straight man having to be reserved and cautious in what you say. Because at the same time, too, the dynamic of that role is he's there on a date with Tracy, played by who is that? That is Julia Stiles.
Yeah.
The real big name other than David Cross in the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And so the dynamic of their relationship right now is that they're trying to impress the other one. And so for him to like not be funny and make jokes, the fact that he was able to slyly make, I guess, comedic references and then have just the perfect turn at the end. Because that was basically like he went from being your average Joe to like, which flavor of Kool-Aid would you like?
Yeah, and I loved Julia Stiles' character. That she's talking to her girlfriends, and she says that she always picks crazy guys, and they all think that she's just over-exaggerating, and then she comes up the stairs at the end, and she's like, okay, he's certifiable, and they're like, oh, you're just joking, and he like brings out the poisoned wine. I thought that was good.
And he put a nice helping of rat poison in it.
Yeah, muscle relaxants and
sleeping pills, muscle relaxants. Yeah, it's a fantastic cocktail. But basically, the point of from Julia Stiles coming down the stairs and finding out that he's poisoned all of the wine. From that point on, the movie got excessively funny for me. Because it was...
Yeah, but that's like the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Well, yeah, so you're talking about a movie that's how long is it, 89 minutes?
Hour and 40 minutes, hour and a half.
Oh my gosh! Okay, so a film that's 100 minutes long, and an hour and 40 minutes, for only the last 10 minutes to be amazingly funny is kind of poor. And I think the responsibility that... I think the dialogue itself is well written. I thought Todd Berger... Is it Berger or is it Berger? Berger. I thought Todd... Yeah, I thought Todd Berger did a good job of writing dialogue, but as far as just making it funny, I think they could have probably had a little bit more leeway and let some of the actors probably do some ad-libbing and things to make their situations really funny. Because I mean, there's a lot of talent on here.
I'd also like to point out that this movie has a Mac and Me scene in it for me.
Oh, you caught one and I didn't? What happened? What is it?
So it's right towards the end of the movie. So I don't know how long this movie takes place over, hour-wise, but I assume that this movie takes place over like 2.5, 3 hours. Your car's battery doesn't run out completely if you leave it on for 2 hours. It doesn't. That's not how cars work.
I don't know if that's a Mac and Me, though.
Yeah.
That is a Mac and Me because it isn't a Mac and Me in the sense of like it's something that you would overlook entirely and the creators of the film don't care. But I would say that that's more of a glaring plot hole. Right?
Maybe.
That is a totally glaring plot hole in the film. Well, I mean that's the whole end of the movie exists because they can't leave.
Yeah.
Because the car is dead. So that to me, that was lazy. That was like a really lazy way of forcing them to stay inside the house at the end of the movie.
I didn't mind it much.
But you see where I'm coming from, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can see why it would bother
if the
you,
movie lasted 2 hours, that's a stretch. Now, we don't know the age of the car. There's other factors. He doesn't have an OEM stereo. It's aftermarket, so it's going to use more power.
But you know what I mean, still.
If I'm under the impression that David Cross and Julia Stiles arrived at approximately 11:30.
We're gonna timeline the movie.
He's gonna timeline it. I was just bringing this to the attention
because I don't count it as a Mac and Me scene.
Well, a Mac and Me scene I thought was like an editing thing.
Yeah,
a Mac and Me is like something that happens kind of off frame. Or I thought a Mac and Me scene was just a general lack of common sense in the directors.
Yeah,
from the directors.
It's like because like in Mac and Me.
There's a cup that falls that's supposed to be full of soda.
And there's nothing in it.
It's clearly empty, falls off the tray, and the little kid picks it up and puts it back on the tray, kind of off to the bottom of the scene.
It's usually poor editing or bad prop match.
It's not
well,
editing.
In the case of, because we mentioned
it's poor scene scene composition.
In Left Behind, it was editing and positioning of the characters.
And same with Twister. There's a lot of... It's basically, if something doesn't make sense... And it's completely stupid, I guess. Okay, then yeah, maybe it's a Mac.
That to me is Mac and Me because
maybe.
It's fucking stupid.
But even then...
Go leave your car on right now. Go leave the radio on for 2 hours. Your car's not going to die.
I'm not, except...
Mine might.
Except, at this point, if Julia Stiles and them get there at 11:30, the late ones were supposed to arrive at 12:30. and they said they're going to die in like 5 hours. The car was probably running for maybe 5 hours. Maybe.
Still.
And that probably won't be enough, but at the same time...
maybe he had a shit battery.
Yeah.
I had a car once that...
It was a convenient plot hole that's easy to overlook because you're not going to.
I'm not even going to call it a plot hole. If anything, you can call that like a
plot device,
a convenience,
a
convenient plot device. Because I hate the word convenience in as far as like plot structure. So
it was a convenient plot device,
but
I think it was a very stupid plot device.
I mean that I can agree with.
They could have just said, "Oh no, the garage door won't open and we can't get the car out."
That doesn't no.
Actually, I know, but
what?
I mean, you know what I'm saying.
If
they're gonna be that lazy, they may as well just have been like, the garage door won't open, or we have a flat tire. Okay. You know what I mean? No, it's kind of in the same realm.
Yeah, I guess.
John's just gonna keep overlooking it because he loved this.
No, I mean, I understand it being dumb, but it's not like it's no worse than anything else that I've seen in any movie.
The problem is it may not be any worse, but it facilitates the last third of the movie.
Yeah.
And Chris has a problem with that, apparently.
I mean, my issue is just if that is such a major point of the last third of the movie, being that they can't leave, you should put more thought into why that's the case. Or maybe that's supposed to be the whole point. Is it's so funny because they were using the radio.
That's the point. That's why they did it because what's her name's Lexi is a rolling, raving.
They should have just pulled out, driven into the mist, and then shot themselves in the head, and then the SWAT team shows up at the end. And then they get on the ground and scream, "No!" And William Sadler's in the back of the car, and he has to kill himself as well.
If
he's in the mist, right, John?
William Sadler?
Yeah, isn't he?
I don't know.
You're the one that interviewed him.
I didn't. I mean, it wasn't something I asked him about.
Okay. If anything, Chris, if you want to find like a Mac and Me component to this movie, it'll do the car radio.
Yeah, he is.
Because David Cross straight up blames the car radio being the car battery being dead on Lexi because she was listening to music. Except we see her numerous times post that car scene in the house.
Well, yeah, because then the couple that was cheating on each other goes in there and they leave the car on.
If anything, that's more of a Mac and Me cup scene than anything.
Yeah.
Not just the fact that she listened to music for apparently 12 hours to kill the car.
Well, I thought the music, I thought blaming it on Lexi was just to show that David Cross's character, while the straight man and logical, is not above, the normal human behavior of trying to pawn blame off. I thought it was supposed to be nonsensical that Lexi would be to blame completely.
I mean, irregardless of the meaning of that scene, I still this movie is kind of I don't hate it. I don't like it. It's kind of there.
I'm okay. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
So, what's your best performance then?
I don't even know.
I'm going with Kevin Brennan
As Buck?
Yeah.
The guitar playing.
Fu Manchu wearing.
I'm gonna go with Erin Hayes just because she was in a short-lived TV show on Fox, and this is the only other thing I've ever seen her in. So.
Are you sure? She looks like uber familiar.
Well, she's in like some other stuff, but I haven't seen it. So she was in a TV show on Fox that they did based off of Anthony Bourdain's book Kitchen Confidential, and she was really good in that. But that lasted 3 episodes, and they had like 13 filmed. So if you ever want to see that, if you ever want to see a good TV show that Fox canned, which is like half of the things they've ever done, am I right, John?
Yeah, you are.
Check Kitchen Confidential out, but she would be my pick. I don't know. She's also not bad on the eyes. So. I mean, she's not. She's the most good-looking out of all the women in the film.
Oh, absolutely.
So, what about you, John? Who's your best performance? I'm going to guess it was David Cross.
No, actually, I was... okay, so first of all, I disagree with you both. I think this movie was great, and I think you should watch it. I'm saving it on my computer to watch it, I don't know, not tomorrow or
This is our first disagreement with John, Swan.
I know.
Yeah.
But for best performance, I'm going to go with Todd Berger. He
Nice.
played Hal, their next door neighbor, who is the one that tells them about the dirty bombs because he knocks on their door and freaks out one of the characters because he's in a hazmat suit, and they let him in, and there's a whole interaction between them where he's like, yeah, you guys don't know Dirty Bombs? You haven't watched the news? What, did you just think you didn't pay your electric bill?
See,
and then he gets like
hilarious.
sad that they didn't invite him.
Hilarious.
That line, that line's
God.
not funny.
Chris.
That's like him trying to force a joke is what that is.
No, that I found that line. It wasn't
I like
laugh
that
out
Swan and I are
funny.
just sitting there like, okay, this
Look,
is real
that
funny.
line wasn't laugh out loud hilarious, but it was one of those lines that made me chuckle because they had just finished arguing about one of the guys blaming his girlfriend for not paying the bill. And then he comes in and says it, and it was like, oh, guess what? You're all dumb. And then his whole thing about not getting invited to couples brunch because he's single now or something like that. I liked that whole interaction. None of that stuff in that interaction was really funny, but it was all amusing.
I think this
And I
movie
enjoyed
thinks it's funnier than it actually is.
Chris.
I think you think you're funnier than you actually
Chris,
are.
I have a question.
That was a good comeback, John.
Chris, I have a question.
Yeah.
Didn't I say like 20 minutes ago that the movie was amusing, not like really funny?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just making sure I wasn't like hearing an echo because John just said that.
I know. Oh, this movie this movie thinks it's funnier than it
Oh
actually
my
is.
god. I'm saying that this movie was awesome and that even the parts that weren't awesome were still amusing. You're saying that this movie was mildly amusing overall, but not awesome. And Chris is saying that he didn't really like this movie very much.
Yeah, it's
So
semantics.
we're all having different opinions.
Semantics.
Swan.
Semantics.
Semantics. Swan and I are closer than you and I are, John.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, we're done with Disaster Movie Month.
Yay!
Put a fucking stamp on it and stick it in a drawer. We're done with it. We
Yeah,
never have to
doesn't
watch
somebody have
it
a
again.
text review for Monday?
Chris does.
Yeah, but we're done with the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what matters.
It is what matters.
You two both still have to watch at least one more. I'm done completely.
No. Well, I mean, yeah, I do actually. I did.
Yeah, you got one for Tuesday, don't you?
No, we don't do Tuesdays. Remember?
No, it's me. It's the last one is on Monday.
Although
That's it.
I'll probably go ahead and do one.
A boy and his dog.
I'll probably do one because I didn't get Fridays done because I had been busy with the festival stuff.
Anyways, is there anything that you two would like to plug before we wrap
Oh
this up?
man, record time. This is perfect. You know what? No. Well, no, yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at Meswan Jr. for those of you that can spell, or can't, I guess. That is at MESWANNJR.
What about you, John?
Twitter is John Lein1. There's the Tales from the Crypt podcast.
Oh, you beat me to it.
I know I did. And also, I got to interview Armando Santi, and we'll have some of that interview up
Tomorrow.
Monday.
No, this comes out on Monday, so that today.
So today.
Today.
It's for his movie Leaves of the Tree, so it sounds interesting.
Yeah, it does. I've listened to the interview, and it's Armando Santi. You can't really go wrong with Armando Santi. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is HeelStash. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Like John said, we also have another podcast that we've started, Tales from the Crypt podcast called Chronicles from the Crypt, where we've, so far, every episode, we have an interview with someone from the show lined up. If you've never seen Tales from the Crypt or you're a huge fan, make sure to check it out. We get to talk to the people from the show. Last week, we got to talk to William Sadler, and it was a good time. He's a cool guy, and his insight into the show was pretty great. This coming week, we're going to be doing episode 3 and 4 of the first season. We get to interview Robert Wool, who has been in a lot of stuff. He had his own show on HBO for a time. He gets involved with ESPN quite often. So make sure to check that out. Today is also, or yesterday, I guess. Damn, this is real weird timing, isn't it?
Timing.
WrestleMania was this weekend, and we do a podcast for every pay-per-view. So if you're into wrestling, please make sure to check out the Running the Ropes podcast. It's part of the Culture Shocked family of podcasts. So make sure to check that out. And great, yeah. And next weekend, not sure what the movie is yet for next weekend, but there will be a celebrity interview along with the podcast, hopefully, which is kind of for April. We've been able to land some interviews with some people that have been involved in the movies. And we also have a big podcast coming in April. I don't want to say what it is yet, but if you listen to this show, You should have an idea because we talked about it on the last podcast. So,
ooh, someone's trying to be cryptic.
It's coming to fruition.
It's almost like he's trying to set up a puzzle.
Yeah,
Oh.
you might say that it's a jigsaw puzzle.
Wow, that was probably a little far. That was probably a little far.
But anyways, so well, cool. And I guess next month we'll start Reader Submission Month, and I'm looking forward to it. So I will talk to you guys next week.
Yep, cool. Let's stop.